the top side as they run 2 by 2 off turn 2.
Elliott trying to inch forward. He needs more drafting help. The outside line has look out, trouble further back. One car is up and over. Barrel rolling down the back straightaway. It is Ryan Preece, end over end, side over side as the car breaks loose and now will catch flame in a horrific crash on the back straightaway. Flames are extinguished for the most part. Now reactivate under the hood. Ryan Preece, end over end, side over side, basically turning pirouettes down the backstretch.
They're putting the hood pins back in. They've ripped away some of the inside ductwork on the right front corner that cools the brakes. He's going to be without a right front quarter panel, but they're just
Trouble in one! Matt Kenseth just wrecked Joey Logano. He waited on him, and as the leader came by, Kenseth rammed him all the way to the safer barrier in turn number 1. We all know where the story came from. Payback for Matt Kenseth.
Back at Kansas Speedway, that was the case that Dave is referring to when Matt Kenseth was leading, closing laps. Joey Logano tapped him, knocked him out of the win. Matt did not forget about it. He pulled back on the racetrack, and you could see, Jeff, he was just waiting for Joey to close in.
Regan Smith to the lead. Tony Stewart loses his drafting help. He's getting freight trained. Bowman gets into the back of Keselowski. Everybody hangs on, and it's Regan Smith to the lead.
Unbelievable move off turn number 2, and everybody sorts it out. Here's Tony Stewart trying to wrestle his way to the bottom of the racetrack. He'll go inside. Now he'll fly to the outside. Look out. Here comes Stewart and Hornish for the final time in 3.
Tony Stewart trying to regain some of that lost momentum with the help of Sam Hornish, but it is Regan Smith off of turn number 4 with the help of Brad Keselowski for the final time.
Tony Stewart going to try to, Regan Smith gets turned. The leader's in the wall. Keselowski gets by. Tony Stewart somehow gets by and is won here at Daytona. A huge crash coming to the stripe. Tony Stewart has won. Several cars involved, Joe. A vicious crash involved Kyle Larson in one, but he is coming out of his race car. The front end gone, the rear end gone, but Kyle Larson out of the car. Tony Stewart has won here, a wild finish.
Debris is littered all through the tri-oval here as that 5-6 cars all came together on top of one another up against the outside retaining wall, and Tony Stewart cut through the grass, through the apron and the tri-oval to make the pass and avoid the spinning car of Regan Smith as they came up off the corner, and he will be going to victory lane. Wow, what a finish. We knew that was going to be wild. Tony's picked it up. Let's go to pit road.
Off turn 4, white flag is in the air. Christopher Bell takes it. He sets sail for turns 1 and 2, trying to walk off.
For the second time in the last 4 weeks, Christopher Bell has been in a do-or-die situation. He is still alive. Final time into 3. Christopher Bell from the line.
He had to win, and he's going to win. Here comes Christopher Bell. He'll score the win. Further back, Ross Chastain.
Chastain did a video game move, drove it and never lifted, put it against the safer barrier in turn 3, never lifted all the way around the turn, and Ross Chastain passes Denny Hamlin. Ross Chastain will get into the playoff.
I cannot believe what I just saw. He came down the back straightaway wide open, never lifted, almost 70 miles per hour faster than anybody. Beat Denny Hamlin by 4 feet to the line. Never in my life have I seen a move like that.
I wonder how these guys can take this kind of intensity for 500 miles, inches apart, better than 190 miles an hour. Any mistake can send you flying into that outside wall or whatever, and they do it all day long. Mark Martin gets sandwiched again back there, this time as they go back to turn 1.
And Martin's into the wall now. Trouble in turn number 1. Mark spins out of control. The whole pack is involved. Cars tumbling through the air, over on all twisting around and hit again as it comes back to the bottom of the racetrack in the corner. A savage crash in turn 1. Several cars involved. Mark Martin's car sliding back down the racetrack now, being hit by several others, and we have a pile of cars sitting at the bottom of the banking in turn 1.
Ricky Craven, one of the cars that went up in the air. A lot of damage to that. Ernie Irvin was involved. We got Jeff Purvis down here. Jeff Gordon with a lot of damage. Rusty Wallace was in the crash. Also the Mike Wallace car. Elton Sawyer still sitting on the apron of turn 2. The Derek Cope car is here. Jeff Bodine's machine is here. Some of those cars now beginning to roll, driving away with a lot of torn up sheet metal, but still sitting on the apron between turns 1 and 2. You've got the car of Jeff Gordon. He's trying to refire that. It's not working. Ernie Irvin still sitting down there. A few others out of our line of sight here between turns 1 and 2.
There will be at least 10 cars that had damage in that spectacular accident that just happened down in turn number 1. Mark Martin kind of got it triggered going there and bounced into that outside wall, then went right down through the middle of the field, slammed into Ricky Craven's automobile, and he went flying up the banking and collected another group of cars, including Jeff Gordon, Ernie Irvin involved in it, again Jeff Purvis involved in it. Looked like Rusty Wallace got a piece of it, Mike Wallace, Elton Sawyer, Ricky Rudd's car badly damaged, Jeff Bodine involved in it, and also Derek Cope.
Austin Hill now to second, then Noah Gregson third.
A.J. Allmendinger into turn number 1. He'll hug the bottom with the lead as a hunted man. They're looking to go 3 wide. Nearly contact between Gregson and Sheldon Creed, but at the front of the pack, it's A.J. Allmendinger.
2 wide, 3 wide, mid-pack on back. This is the final trip down the back straightaway. A.J. Allmendinger with the lead. Here comes Austin Hill. Trouble further back. Jordan Anderson Racing's Myatt Snyder up and into the wall. He makes contact. The car gets airborne, flips violently off the end of the back straightaway. A dozen other cars involved. Horrific contact for Myatt Snyder. The front of the car is gone. The back of the car is gone. Holy cow, he just dropped the window net, and Myatt Snyder is getting ready to climb out of his beaten and battered race car.
The caution flag did come out with that miraculously awful crash over on the back straightaway. The field coming back around. NASCAR will let us know who was up front when the caution flag flew. The first one back to the line doesn't necessarily matter. Austin Hill was the first back to the line, but again, it is Myatt Snyder out of the race car and walking away under his own power after an absolutely horrific crash on the Daytona Super Stretch. NASCAR Race Control continues to look at the monitors to be sure before they make the call.
Jimmy Johnson now drops to the bottom. He'll challenge for 3rd place.
Here comes Jimmy Johnson, drafting help from Martin Truex Jr. will propel Johnson to the number 3 position. Kevin Harvick will go to 4th. Truex back to the bottom. He wants a piece of Harvick. Wheel to wheel for the number 4 spot off 2.
Meanwhile, the front 2 threatening to pull away. They're staying down low. They're in each other's tire tracks. It's a snarling pack of machines behind them. Regan Smith darting through traffic to the high side.
And Jimmy Johnson is going backwards. He is 4 wide, climbing the banking, and everybody working to his inside. Mark Martin trying to get by. Tony Stewart, it is close. Quarters racing off 4.
3 wide up in turn number 4. Some tight racing as a championship contender. The leader coming in, Jimmy Johnson, gets shafted back to the back of the pack, right in the middle. Up front, battle for the lead. Kevin Harvick goes to the point.
Double wide, 2 rows deep. Kevin Harvick drafting help from David Rudiman will go to the top spot. Boyer comes back to the bottom. Further back, they are 3 wide. They are 4 wide. They are looking 5 wide on turn number 2.
But they're going to not chase down the leaders in that posture. The top 4, 2 by 2, midway down the back straightaway. Everybody else in a big pack midway down the back stretch.
Now you've got another duo hooked up, and that is Martin Truex Jr. and Joey Logano. Here they come. 3 packs of 2 up front. Boyer and Montoya, but they're under pressure.
Coming down to the white flag at Talladega Superspeedway. 4 cars breaking away. They're racing side by side. Coming back into the tri-oval. Clint Boyer trying to hold on to the lead to the outside lane. Kevin Harvick drafting help there from David Rudiman. Still side by side in 1.
Oh, trouble in turn number 1. Upside down is A.J. Allmendinger. Slams the inside retaining wall. Over and over side goes the Valvoline Ford. A.J. Allmendinger got turned at the start-finish line. Hard into the inside retaining wall. His car lands, wheels down, roof up, what remains of the roof at the entrance to turn number 1 after a wild ride half the length of the front straightaway.
Talladega is a totally different animal. The track there is tight and handling is not really a big factor. Here, handling is everything.
It's working for Darrell Waltrip right now, but boy, has he got his hands full in turn 3.
Oh, trouble. He hits with Kulwicki. Waltrip and Joe Rudman sliding off into the infield grass. Waltrip is upside down. The car flips 5, 6, 7 times. The roof comes off the car. The tires shedding everywhere. A vicious crash for Darrell Waltrip.
Caution is on the speedway as the field will race back to the start-finish line. Waltrip's car went into the inside sand berm that separates Lake Lloyd from the speedway. We saw a big plume of sand come up, and then the car went end over end. Let's go back to turn 3.
Darrell's car came across the infield, Barney, and got sideways, and what got it up into the air is he actually hit the separation between the chicane area of the road course, the little left-right dip, and the grass. And when he caught the edge between the grass and the pavement, the car was straight sideways. That just popped it right up into the air, and it tumbled over 6-7 times, digging into the grass very hard. It shed all of the sheet metal off the car, a couple of the wheels. The safety workers are already at his car looking in to try and attend to Darrell Waltrip. A very hard crash.
The gut 4 wide as everybody now wrestling for real estate. Clint Boyer gets pushed up into the apron. He comes back onto the racetrack. 3 wide for second. Harvick is in the middle. Tony Stewart topside.
Everybody chasing Matt Kenseth further back. They are racing 4 wide. They are racing 3 wide for second. Up front, Matt Kenseth has a Ford out front. Then it's Boyer, Harvick, and Tony Stewart.
Trevor Bayne had to come to pit road, a fuel pickup problem, but Matt Kenseth up front coming back to the line. White flag about to be displayed at Talladega Superspeedway. The challenge is on. Tony Stewart comes by in the outside lane. Stewart takes the lead at turn 1.
Tony Stewart to the lead, but it's not over yet. Kenseth goes to the outside. He wants to challenge. They're 3 wide behind them. They're 4 wide further back. Everybody 4 wide, led by Tony Stewart.
4 wide and leaning on each other up the back straightaway for the final time here at Talladega. Tony Stewart is there in the lead. Matt Kenseth behind him in second. Kevin Harvick in third. 4 wide through the rest of the field in 3.
Here comes Mark Martin working now. Kevin Harvick is spun. He crashes. Kevin Harvick is upside down. Matt Kenseth gets away with the race lead. Everybody piled up, but Matt Kenseth, Jeff Gordon, and Kyle Busch.
Here they come now back to the line. The multi-car pileup down in turn number 4. Tony Stewart, who was leading, involved in the crash as they come down to the line. And it will be Matt Kenseth surviving to win the Good Sam 500.